Hi folks, I'm Judd. I'm a professional astrologer with over 35 years consultative experience to my name. These are my astrological forecasts for the year 2015 for each sign of the zodiac. Enjoy. And this is the astrological forecast for the sign of Capricorn for the whole of 2015. Well, recent years have not been quiet. For those of you old enough to go back a few decades, you'll be able to look at the time since Pluto's been in your sign since 2008 and recognise how intense and changeable recent years have been compared to the norm and the theme of your life in general. Has to be said that 2015 offers no major change to this pattern. It does, however, suggest that overall the year becomes steadily less extreme, not so much to the point of becoming stable or balanced, because that's not going to happen, but becoming less full on, less compressed, less compulsive or obsessive. And that the challenges that remain are going to become much more isolated around specific points in time rather than being year-long or month-long. Pluto continues to pass through your sign. Pluto is now particularly going to be affecting those people born from, say, January 3, 4, 5, 6, and over the coming year. This is once in a lifetime. This happens once every 248 years. It's time to let the caterpillar turn into the butterfly. It's time for the snake to shed its skin. Time to transform and regenerate and rebirth. And of course it's scary, but you can't avoid it, so you might as well embrace it. That's what Pluto's doing for those people born towards the end of the first week of January over the coming year. Neptune's looking out for a few of you as well. Those people born at the very end of December, the last 2 or 3 days of December, you're going to be finding that there's a lot more subtlety, refinement, artistry, spirituality, compassion, empathy and intuition. All lovely Neptunian words working from Pisces to you over the coming year, especially those people born at the end of December. It's a very fertile, imaginative and possibly even artistic year. Uranus. Well, the Uranus-Pluto square is still going on, although it's fading out quite fast now. It'll be gone by the middle of 2016 anyway. Over the first few months of 2015 through to perhaps mid-March, Uranus has still got a bit of unfinished business with those of you born perhaps from the 3rd, 4th through to the 7th, 8th of January. And here there can still be 1 or 2 further adjustments over the coming year. Over the coming few months, until mid-March. But from mid-March onwards, Uranus refocuses his attention strongly, much more strongly than you might expect, into the lives of those people born perhaps the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, perhaps the 6th to the 9th or the 7th to the 10th of January. You're going to find that this coming year is a year where you need to incorporate change into your life, because if you don't, then change will incorporate itself into your life. And I would rather you were a proactive, willing part of a process rather than a passenger who may not even have their seatbelt on. Because Uranus is not about gentle, smooth rides. It's very much around rough and tumble and taking chances and breaking moulds and throwing them away and reinventing oneself and beginning again. And if you're born at the start of the 2nd week, in the first part of the 2nd week of January, then you're going to find that this coming year is going to have in it a number of significant sudden changes, which, if you're not scared to look, will also have with them the opportunity to begin again in a number of different ways. Got to be a good thing. Then we come to Saturn. Saturn's leaving Scorpio over the coming year, moving into Sagittarius, so he's not really going to be affecting that many of you. What will be happening is that Saturn will be nipping back into Scorpio for 3 or 4 months over the period of May through to August. And during that time, he's going to be sort of revisiting the lives of those of you born at the very end of Capricorn. Here, I guess I'm looking around those of you born around January 18 onwards, maybe 17 onwards, but in a way that brings the opportunity for more steadfastness, solidity, structure, discipline, all nice Capricorn words. So this is actually looking quite healthy during the middle months of the year. Saturn's not being a problem. Neither really is Jupiter, at least not in the first half of the year. Jupiter's nicely tucked away in Leo, he's doing things to other people and he's hardly touching you. You can rise above Jupiter's influence through until mid-August. And then he moves into Virgo, a sign that you're very complementary with. And this does suggest that early August through to perhaps late September, that those Capricorns born during December may have a sudden surge of optimism and fortune and growth and opportunity. Nice time. Nice time. If you're a December Capricorn, look out for second week of August to the last week of September. There's a slightly higher average of fortune around than normal. Certain moons jump pertaining to Capricorn over this coming year. There is the Mars-Uranus conjunction in Aries, hitting the Uranus-Pluto square. That's taking place in the first week of March. That's going to be a bit of a stinker. Certainly, the eclipsed moon in Libra on the 4th of April will have a very strong effect on those of you who are already undergoing a degree of pressure, and that is very much seen as a trigger point. There is the full moon, the new moon on the 13th of October, which is also going to be challenging, cracking eggshells for the future, perhaps, in terms of ongoing new transformations for coming years. But these are triggers, and it is primarily the ones in March and April that concern me from an astrological level. Without wishing to get your hopes up, for the vast majority of you, it does seem that once you're into the middle of April of this coming year, 2015, you're going to find the rest of the year does hold a significant decrease in the levels of urgency, intensity, compulsiveness that the last 2 or 3 years have been so represented by. Certainly there's going to continue being a degree of disruption and chaos as well as forced transformation, especially for certain individuals, some of the dates I've mentioned. But overall, it's becoming far more focused into certain specific areas and certain groups of people now, rather than affecting the whole range. So for the majority of Capricorns, the coming year is going to see a small but significant decrease in the level of gravity and pressures. The more you get into the year, the easier it's going to get, and particularly from August onwards, you should start seeing things beginning to turn from latent into potent. So as far as the year 2015 goes, Capricorn, have an increasingly fertile year. There you go, folks. I hope that was helpful and informative. I believe astrology should be free. I think that if astrology was taught in schools, we'd see an end to warfare within 2 generations. And in that context, I want to put as much astrology free into the world as I can. But it does cost. Your donations, month in, month out, the £1, the £5, the £10 a month that you send me, really help me keep this going. Thank you. Keep them coming. And look what I've got. And there's a new one on Mercury coming out later this year. So if you want to get these or find out about all my gigs travelling around the world this coming year lecturing on astrology, email me, steve@stevejudd.com. See you next year. Bye.